what just did happen? Wait a minute, please. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's just see whether it completed or not. I just hit the refresh, so I'm not certain what happened then. I will check. Otherwise, I will do it again if that didn't finish. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, it was created. The steps were finished. Okay. So HUL RPC is the name of virtual cloud network. And if you will go in depth, you would have public and private subnet. You see this private subnet and public subnet. And if you may go to any of the subnet, they will have policies like security lists, right? So you understand now, right? You understand how is the flow, right? Is that any questions so far? What we have just done is we have created a virtual cloud network. The diagram you have already seen, it was showing you when we created, right? And this ingress rules, you understand it, they are for incoming purpose, and egress, E for exit, we learned that time, is for outgoing purpose, right? So that's about it. Networking wise, our work is done. Let's just do with instances now. I mean, compute instances. Okay. So we are going to create now two virtual machine. So you say create instance. Okay. Fine. If you remember, I named this T2 and P2. You can change this name later on also, right? I'll keep it as is, or let's just say T2. Okay. And yeah, the image I'm taking, whatever, you know, they are providing default. It actually says always free eligible. So I will not change it. And then, okay, so let me, I will download this private key SSH, but okay, let's just download it. So save private key. So it will, you know, download it, and I'll just say create. See, I'm not changing anything else. Okay. So one instance is ready. I mean, in a minute, it will be ready. Okay. By the time, let me, so this window have not been closed since, you know, Saturday or so time. Anyway, so where am I? Let's see. I'll actually, you know, will update all these files. If you remember, we had right hand side was, you know, one instance, server instance, right? So what I will have to do is that particular SSH private key what we downloaded, I'll have to override here at instance one, right? So I'm just removing this file from instance one right now, and moving whatever is there in downloads folder. Hopefully that's, I think it comes with date, so I'll be good with that. Today is what? What is today? Come on. 21st. Okay. Okay, so I'm lucky there, right? It comes with the date. So I know that it is the file which I just downloaded, and I'll move it to instance one, right? Are you guys are following, right? You're able to see my terminal. What am I doing right now? Are you able to see my terminal? One of you, please. Okay. So what am I doing? I just am moving the private SSH key to the local folder called instance one. Okay, and it's done. So if I will just check it, is there, right? Why I moved? Because again, I would create another instance. And before that, let me, you know, remove from instance two. Okay, fine. Okay. So we know that we just have created first instance, right? One more thing we will have to do is, you know, when I connect, actually I'm required to have this file to be read only. So I'll just do that part. chmod 400, you know, it will make it read only. It is needed, otherwise, you know, when we connect, it will throw an error. So this is one more step you have to do. Okay, fine. So instance one, let's just see. It's still provisioning. Okay. So till then, we'll actually, you know, have our second window ready. Okay, where am I right now? Fine. So we are on my local, these both are my local computers as you're seeing right now. I mean, my local computer terminal only is the same thing. So what will I have to do? Next, what will I have to do is change, this IP here, right? And the key name also. So let's just do that by the time that instance gets created. So 21, right? And then this IP I will have to change. So whatever, the new comes up, I'll have to write it here at the rate. And the OPC username we are already created. Come on, it doesn't really take this long. Am I missing any step? Accepted. Running. Okay, so it is running means active. I think it should show active or running. I don't know. So let's just come again and we'll instances actually. We should be going to instances. Okay, so running. I think it is active only. Okay. Okay, and then it will give me public IP here. You see public IP it is giving me, right? So I'll copy this public IP. And they are providing buttons also for easy assets. So public IP address I just copied. Okay. Somehow private IP address we are getting 10.0.0, but that subnet was actually saying 10.0.1.0. So that I will have to cross check how it works. Okay. But anyway, I'll have to copy this public IP for one of the instance. Okay, which is let's say T2, and that I will put it here. Up to this is fine. It is the same what we created 140.223, right? So what we have ready, we have one instance ready, and I would be able to connect it. Let's just see if you are able to connect or not. The first time it will ask you for this, and I believe you all know these things. It is actually, if you say yes here, what does it do? There is a file in which it will make entry that this instance, and this is part of this is also one of the steps what you need to do for your Hadoop cluster also. All the instances they need to know each other, and this is actually one part of establishing the trust. Okay, so next time it will not ask me for that yes or no part. I believe you know what it is doing internally. So see, we are connected, right, to that instance. So I will just say ifconfig, and you see 10.0.0.2, right? So that's nothing but this particular guy. So up to this is fine. On cloud, we have created one instance, which is called compute instance, right? It is nothing but a VM, right? Up to this is fine. I mean, any questions so far? How do you use cloud? I mean, most of the cloud you will be using the same way. Okay, I would not say like general, but SSH is one definite option with all the clouds provider. Okay, cloud providers. Okay, so we have connected to one instance. So I will repeat this basically the same story, right? Let's just create another instance now, and for that I will go to compute instances only, and then say create instance, right? I would now name it to be P2, for example. How do I write it? Fine. Okay. And wait a minute. Did I select the virtual cloud network? Actually, when you create this, it should ask you. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll have to cross check one thing. Actually, I was supposed to also make sure that I go to this safe network and storage option, and okay, it is picking up, so we are good. Okay, I was supposed to make sure that while we create instance, I choose that virtual cloud network which we purposefully created for this. So okay, so see, did you get what I'm talking about? In the first instance creation, I didn't actually click on this particular link which says hide or show safe network and storage option. My concern was in the first instance, did it pick up HOL RPC or not? But in second, at least it is, by default it is picking. It looks like picking because there is only one at a root compartment. So we are still good with that. Okay. And see, there are options like you want to assign a public IP or not, and few more things. Okay. But we are not changing anything. We'll just save this private key again. Okay. And then I'll just say create. While it, takes it time, we'll again go to this. What I'll do, I have already removed the instance 2 SSH key. So I will move from downloads folder, the same, because it is, the same date. The date is, but the content will be different of both of these files. But I'll now move to instance 2, right? So it's again straightforward. I'll then have to do chmod. What is it? 400 plus SP. Okay, and then instance 2 and SSH key, right? And then I'll have to change connect to script, right? And everything else will stay same. Here I will put the IP of other computer, public IP of other computer. Oh, here I also have to write 21, and know that we are referring from instance 2. I'll stay here. Okay. So we'll wait a while this P2 instance get active. By the time it provided the IP, so I just copied and I'll paste it. Right, so 231, yeah, that is correct. And what was the, anyways, I just changed the window, okay, just to check what was the IP of other guy. I hope we are not referring to the same computer. I mean, excuse me. So it is different, right? Public IP of both of these computers are different. Fine, so I will just save this now, right? So what we have got, we are connected to instance 1 already here. If you see in this window, okay, right hand side window, OPC T2, okay, and we are about to connect to P2, but then before that I'll have to confirm that it is created. It's provisioning, so okay, it's running now. So hopefully we are having those, right, instances, right? So let's just oh, come on, let's just connect it. Connect 2.sh, right? And then it's the first time. So you want to actually see what happens behind the scene by that. Why would I forget that file name? So when you say that yes, what happens that if you want to see in this SSH, there's file called known host. Okay, so there are actually entries for every host here. See the previous, just now when we said yes, there was one entry in this. Okay, I think that IP was this only. How do I find it? Yeah, you see this? Okay, what am I talking right now? There is a file in SSH folder of your home called known host. Okay, and what happens when you press yes button? It actually makes entry into this file. So that next time, this is one level of trust for your known host. The name itself suggests, right? So right now there is no entry for the current IP, which is what? The second IP, which is T2 we completed. T2 we completed, so P2 we want to connect. So P2's address is 231. So there's no entry of 231. So immediately after I will connect, we'll come back and check this file. Okay, I opened another terminal so that we can follow also. If you may want to follow any file, you may do this. These are few things which you want to learn. See, this is how developers sometimes debug also. Like they will keep the log file open, they will be following. If you see, I said -F. Okay, now they will click something or do certain activity, and they will want to have live logs here, and that will give them some idea. So what I'll do now, see, basically I could actually create this window, move tab to new window temporarily, and okay, so because I have already two windows there, I would still move this. Oh, come on. Okay, so because I have already two windows here, it didn't let, but I can follow here on the other side. What am I doing? Tail -F SSH non-host. See this particular. Wait a minute. Let me just close this because we don't want to use this right now. Okay. Okay. So what is the situation? On the right hand side, I'm just following a log file, for example. Okay. And on the left hand side, I'm actually gonna click some button or press some menu, and I want to see what happens. This is one of the steps what developers do when they have to recreate the bug or recreate the situation what client conveyed, that when I did this, it didn't work. So then, there'll be ticket created for you. It will be assigned to the developer, and then developer will have to fix it. So this is one thing. He will actually, behind the scene on a certain instance, he will actually follow the logs and then find out what is happening. So for example, we just want to learn right now what will happen, when we press yes, when we type yes, and my knowledge says it makes one entry here for that particular IP address, which is 231. So let's just check that. So I'll just say connect, what is it, 2.sh, right? Have we completed everything? I mean, the rest of the thing. And you see this, what happened? We are connected when I press yes, but you see this one entry came up here. And this is the live example. I mean, you have to learn all these things, okay? This is why I'm sharing it. It's part of your daily life for a developer. Did it make sense, that tail-f part? Guys, can you confirm tail-f made some sense to you? Is utilized for following logs. Do use it? I mean, do use it? This is really a technique. People use it for troubleshooting or recreate the scenarios. Fine. Okay. Fine. So you understood what happens when you press yes. I mean, type yes, right? Behind the scene, in that file, it makes one entry with certain keys and the name, IP, etc. So next time when you will connect, it will not actually ask you that do you know this site or not, or do you want to trust or not, because it will first scan this file, and that's one of the level of trust. Like known, like somebody, your friend, your parents know your friend. If you introduce your friend to your parents one time, the next time when he comes, he'll say, okay, yeah, we know him. Likewise. Okay. So that was just for just so that you learn something new. So what is the status now? Okay, so we are on two computer differently, right? Which is T2 and P2. T2 is 10.002 and P2 is 10.03, right? Now, so far so good. Now what we need to do, we need to create few folders for, so I'm just creating, RPC demo folder on both of the side, right? And I'll move there, right? So there is nothing in this file right now. Or tree command itself, I think I should be able to install this tree command like this. Okay, I need to, and know that OPC is also, having root access. Okay, so once you connect to your computer instances over cloud, you need to find out how will you do root part, and know that OPC has sudo access also. Okay, so you just say sudo in front of it, and then fine, I'll just say yes, and then it will install the tree command. So now see, the tree command is working, right? So all these things are primary things. Okay, guys, you have to explore and learn this. I mean, these are very basic primary things. Sudo, what was that? Yum install tree, right? So such way, if RPC is not there, you install. If something else is not there, you install. I just now requested you to install RPC on your system if you don't have it, right? So you may try doing similar stuff like yum install or apt get, or Mac users may do brew install, right? Brew install, and Windows guys might find a way. I'm sorry, I don't know that way right now, but you guys can find out certain ways of doing this. Okay, so what I just did on both of the instances, I just installed the tree command because that's my favorite to find out, what is the status of current directory. So right now there is nothing. Okay, can someone tell me what is next step? We want to demonstrate RPC. What is next step? Guys, we are connected, and you got to answer what is next step. I will try. I will make sure RPC Jun is there or not. See, okay, so it looks like it is there. If I just run, it gives me, basic help. So RPC Jun is installed. It is, embedded into the instance. So I don't need to install it specifically. I can also check whether RPC bind RPC info, command gives me what? There are already few things in use which we don't know what exactly it is, but there are already few things in use on all the instances. So the RPC bind, okay, it's running on both the instances. See, I haven't started anything. Okay, it is part of the package. I mean the VM itself. Okay, because they may be internally using it for some other their purposes, like other services. So I know RPC is installed. It is running up and running, right? The framework, at least we can say. What else? What will be the next step now? I get to create a. Okay, so generate templates using RPC gen. Jainik, you're right, but that generating template itself will need one input. What is that? I repeat, generating template itself will need one input. And I will have to copy a few things from other instance. Date.x, correct. So now how do I should have, recorded. Anyways, I'll have to, so see, I don't remember all the syntax, honestly, and I'm not expecting that you also remember it. Okay. So where will I go for now? I'll go to the date.x file, which I might have in one of the location. Wait a minute, I'll go, okay, wait a minute. I need date.x file basically, right? So just because, syntax wise, I don't recollect everything, right? So wait a minute. Where am I? And you're able to see my screen completely. I know that. That's okay. No big deal. Don't misuse anything. Okay. Hands-on. Remote procedure call. And what I need from here is, date.x file. So I'll just copy the path name. Oh, come on. What did I do? Hold, wait. I'll just copy the path name, which I need to use it here, right? CP. From here, what do I need? Date.x in my local folder for now, or I don't need to even copy. I can right away use it. Let me just open it. What is that? Oops, come on. Okay. Date.x. Come on. Okay, so this was the problem. If you remember, I'll have to put double because there is space. Date.x. Fine. So I'll just copy this content. So for actually, I have to find a way how to copy over file from local computer to Oracle Cloud to VM. I have not tried that yet, and I haven't got I haven't found time. See what I need this file on the cloud. This file is right now there on my local computer, right, my local machine, and I have not figured out a way how do I copy over. I know there is SCP, WinSCP in window, in Fire FTP. There are so many FTP services also, but I have not explored it yet with respect to this cloud. I'm just gonna copy over manually for now. So I copy this content and on here I'll just say date.x, right, and I will just paste it. And bear with me. Of course, I'm working with many things, so I would not remember syntax, ahead of time, and we don't expect you to remember syntax. But at least during the exam, do know little bit about this. It's nothing like program, the name of the program, and maybe version, and then the signatures, whichever functions you need, their signatures. This might be 1, 2, 3. You may increase, and this is nothing but the return type, and this is like input. Okay, so we have two functions. One actually doesn't take any input and gives just the long, which is the timestamp. The other function is, takes the timestamp maybe, or let's see what it takes. I will have to check, but it returns a string. Okay, and what is the benefit of this 55? I'm sorry, I don't know that for now. You please explore that on your own, detailing. So I'll just say W, right, and maybe Q also. So I have this file here, right, date.x now. And I'm not certain do I need to do anything with authorization or not, but I'll just say RPC gen. And what was that command? Okay, so for that command, -a, -n, etc. Right. So for that, I'll have to maybe I go to the history and get it, right? Or that command information is provided to you. Okay, it's not there in the history, maybe. Fine. So I'll have to grab it from the Jainik. Yeah, you got it. That is good. Okay, I will use from your help. Otherwise, it's there on. Uh, and see, believe me, whenever I would have started learning, I would have learned this. What is the purpose of each of these? But this time I didn't, refresh that knowledge because I didn't, you know, uh, find time to learn again. But you definitely do man RPC join, and it will tell you what the -C-N-A for. I'm hoping Jainik has the correct information there. I'm just gonna use it for now, and I think this is how you will just, generate files, and let's see. So you have the files out here, right? Up to this, all of you understood, right? So what does it do? It actually, based on your signatures, it creates the wrapper. Okay, the wrapper is this one, and it also creates the actual files which you need to be editing. So here I will be editing the file date_server.c. Okay, I'll be editing this file, and here I need those logic, whatever I may have. But then again, I'll just copy that logic from the existing one. So what was that? Date_server.c, for example. So you can actually think of eco service. Normally, see, whenever you try something new, you should try something like Hello World or so. For RPC, I mean, eco service might be eco, eco, ECHO, yeah, it's eco or ECCO. Purpose is same actually, but okay. ECCO is the right word or not, I don't know. Okay, but basically you should try some hello world kind of mechanism. So I just took it little further instead of just hello world. And with respect to RPC, can you guess what might be the hello world program? I mean, with respect to RPC, what might be the hello world program? Or with respect to client server programming, what might be the hello world program? Remember, we actually talked hello world program with Hadoop, right? So what was the hello world program for with respect to Hadoop? It was primarily, let's say, word count, right? So with respect to RPC, hello world program can be thought of as, eco program. Eco, I think it makes sense what am I talking, right? Whatever message you give, it will give you back. I mean, whatever message you send to the server, RPC, it will give you back. So that can be also done here. How will you do it? Of course, you will have to, parse this and put it back, okay? But that again will need some information, like how the information is available. But right now, I'm just doing one way, like your result is being generated and result is being returned. That's about it. Okay. Fine. So we have these files, and actually we'll also need this on the client side. At least service wise, we don't. Okay, so server is correct. We don't need anything on client side for now. So we'll need on client side, we will need date.x definitely. Okay, so date.x I will copy over actually. See, SCP works because all this computer can, connect to each other. The user equivalence is automatically established. So if I would say SSH OPC at the rate, which computer on the right side right now? 10002, right? I will connect to the right hand side computer. I'm sorry, left hand side. How? OPC at the rate 10003. I think hopefully it was 3. Oh, come on. Yeah, I will connect to it, and you can do it. OPC, not OPEC. Okay. See, it is the same story there. Okay, whatever we have demonstrated. And if I miss really see, it is 10003. But I'll exit out. So I also just now demonstrated that from one instance to other instance within the cloud you will be able to do smoothly. And what I want to do actually, I want to copy over this date.x file to the other side. Let's just copy over. How will I do? SCP date.x to that remote computer, which is 10003. Oh, come on. And then the location. So home and what is the username? OPC and RPC demo. Once I run this, I'm expecting file here. If everything is correct, let's just see. See, it didn't ask me for password because the user equivalence has been established. Okay. and that file is here, right? So next thing, what I want to do, I will want to generate, you know, the same way, right? Dash C dash N dash A, and then date.x. Fine. So again, oh, come on, fine. So on both sides, I have the files also. Date server, basically I'll be running on server on the right hand side, so I don't want to update. Otherwise, I can also say scp and bring date server here just for synchronization. You can also use rsync command. Okay, rsync, you may have heard about it. I just overwrote that date server file here, and you see it is there, right? Anyways, I really didn't need that, but then I just did it. Okay, what next? So first thing first, let's taste it on one computer, right? I mean, on the same computer, uh, just for confirmation's sake that it works. Then we will try across the computer, and for that I'll have to compile, right? What is the next step? I'll have to compile, yes or no? So what was the compile .sh file, right? So what were the, oops, what happened? Did I do anything miss? Okay. So it's basically nothing, GCC show me all warning and then dash C and dash C. Okay. Dash C says only this file, it might not have main function, it is okay. Okay, that's how you compile multi-file program. See what we are doing, we are separately compiling date CL and T, date client, both of them together, their object binary file. We are putting as one bigger object file. I believe this is taught to you. If not, please learn this. This is nothing but how you do multi-file programs in using GCC. So this file is a individual file. This file is also individual file. You compile them individually. There is no dependency if at all, and they will all compile. They will generate .o file for themselves, and that command you need is option is -c option. Okay. Then corresponding .o file, you put it into all the list. But then now this time I will just say -o. Okay. So it is kind of loading and linking all these two binaries as one executable called date client. Now what has to do with NLSN? I mean link library. This LN is for linking library. You may explore what is SL, okay, maybe shell library or static library. I'm not certain what it is, but we need -ln for maths library also sometimes when we do with GCC. Okay. Anyways, so what I need for right now is I need these three commands, right, to be executed. And I actually also need all of them because I want to paste on single instance itself. So let's just grab all these things and I'll just say vi compile .sh, for example. I'll put it all here. Okay. I'll just keep them in single file. Otherwise, I separated those two files also. But then I'll just say sh and compile.sh. And prior to doing this, let me just say what is the status of my folder. This is the status of my folder, and I just want to do now, compilation. I would ignore warnings and all for just temporarily, just because it's not production work I have to do. So I'll just check what tree. At least there is no warning, so hopefully the things are going off, right? So see, it created intermediate.o file, right, for both of them, and finally it also created final executable, right? So what is my first thing to check? I'll just need two instances though. Okay, I'll go in this second one, or maybe I'll just open another terminal and say connect1.sh. So on the right hand side right now I'm having I'm connected twice to this T2 instance. Okay, so I'll run the date server on one, and then I'll run date. Where am I? Okay, so I'll run date client saying localhost, right? And let's see what happens. Okay, so there is some fault. What we are getting right now is called segmentation fault. Okay, so I'm not certain if there's a few more things to be done. I mean, if I missed any of the step. So Actually, the server is showing some issue, and segmentation fault has to do with pointers, memories, etc. Right? So what else? I mean, I'll have to. Okay, is there any step which I missed? So date.x was, so I'll have to basically check, right? Code dumped is actually, code dumped, let's just see. Actually, I explored this code dump also in the past, but it's a little while I have looked into it. Otherwise, you can, it was not with C files, but there's something called TCP dump. There is a command called TCP dump. It may be there. Yeah. So this is what I used to, go and do debugging. When something fails, you would want to do dump. It is also called code dump. Okay, and that was the error message you saw, right? It is like something fails, then it actually dumps the code, and then you go and analyze that files. I mean those files which are called code dumped, and then you figure out what is wrong with it. I have done this with TCP dump. I mean, I was working with a website and there was a problem, right? Like some failures. So I was required to do, dump the TCP connectivity, like requests behind the scene, and then these files I would go and refer, and then there are actually tools to use dump files. Okay, but that is one way of debugging what happened. I hope that made some sense to you. I'm not going in this code dump detail right now because it's been mostly like 8 years I did that, so I don't remember a lot of stuff there. But the problem is date server is not up to date. So I was expecting that date.x and rpcgen, there were only two commands to do. I'm not certain. Let's just go and check Google Classroom and see if there is anything which we missed. Actually, when I did this on Saturday, very similar to this, steps I followed, and I just let me see what step did I miss. Okay, but otherwise, see, this is what we are expecting, and we'll still continue this if we can, complete it. We have time. Yeah, we do have time. So I'll hopefully that those options dash C dash and they are correct. Let's just figure out what went wrong. Okay. So for sure, if the code dump is actually, maybe they are dumping in the local area or in some other location. Those all things I'll have to find out. I don't remember that. The first thing what I tried was, show me all files. So many times, dump files, etc. They are kind of hidden generated. So you may want to, find out, but I don't see any hidden files. So that code dump location may be some other place. Okay. Wherever, the GCC or some guys might have there. So the dump location, I don't want to go and check right now. At least I will refer to my steps if I missed anything. Do you think I missed anything here? I'm not certain about the date client file. Was there anything which I needed to change in date client file? Oops, why would I disconnect there? I'll stay here. Okay, I'm going to my local computer, and then let's just check date.x file. Sometimes the privileges also, I'm sorry, the privileges and stuff, you never know what is causing issue. So CD, oops, a lot of things changed. I'll have to wait a minute, please. Okay, let's just do here. What am I trying to look? I'm trying to recollect some steps, and I'm trying to figure out if I missed anything. Okay, that's about it, what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm here in my local, what happened? Where am I? Yeah. VI date.x. We copied it, right? So hopefully there is nothing wrong in here. What else? Okay. And then the date server file was supposed to be edited, right? So we edited that file. We added these lines. Was there anything else I changed? Okay. This include time.h. Yes, this is one thing. It was not added, and I remember adding this myself first time, but because I know that has to be done. But this time, because I was speaking as well as talking, I just didn't do that. Anyways, I'll I'll clean up O file and I'll clean up basically what was that date. So I have switched to the server. Okay, what I figured out that I actually missed to enter uh, that part. So what am I gonna do? You see is clean. I'll actually go to dateserver.c, and that is one thing which I missed actually. Yes. See, basically, you need to know. I mean, see, you need to know, yeah, right? A few things. Either there can be something wrong with your steps, or something, with the system or the environment. So I just recollected that I should have added this part, right? So let's just try one more time. I just did add that. Was there anything else? I think I added only those 3 lines, basically. Yeah, that's about it. So we are good. I will compile again, right? Hopefully. Last time I was, compiling with shell only. Okay. So I would now do date server, and hopefully the previous, segmentation fault doesn't create any concerns for us. But I'll just try it now. Okay. And where am I? RPC demo, date client, right, and localhost, right? Okay. Fine. So what happened now? Can someone say what happened now? So that is something next which I haven't done yet. So basically the service went through, okay? The service went through. But then date client, which is, not displaying me anything, right? So do you think I need to do anything, or can we check the files? Okay, let's just check the files. So date client.c, what does it do? See here, I mean, is having a main function, and if you may not provide the host name, it will say, you have to provide the host name. And then what it is doing? It is calling date probe1 from the host. It is just calling it, okay? And what is date probe1, etc. Let's check my file. So vi date underscore client.c. What have I got? Same story, right? But then have I got anything else in these functions? So remember, we didn't update date client yet, right? And I would have written something there also. Yes, which is this. I'm actually, this function I'm going to call from the client. It will go and call it to, server. And what does it do is actually this particular, logic, which I still have to write it into my, let's just see what was the default generated date client, okay? What you see on your screen, date client, is, what I edited after. But let's just see what was the default date client. And it's here, what you are seeing right now. This is on OPC Cloud. And what is that? So basically, it has certain, things done, but it's actually just, the eat part. The else part is not there. You see? I repeat, if part is there, else part is not there. And if part is actually if you don't receive any result, it displays call failed, something on those lines. But else part is actually what is, what you want to do with the result. So this is what I want to do with the result. Okay, and I think I also, let's just see what is it. Okay, let's just see that. So result 1, right? I'll just paste else part. Are you guys, are we connected? Are you following? What are we doing? Which step are we after right now? We are following the client logic, and the else part is actually, not default provided. So I'm actually typing it myself. It's nothing but I'm copying from the other file, but actually, what am I doing, right? So see, today it's good to do, something live. Hopefully you someday, somebody also provided a comment into the lab submissions saying it is good if the faculty can do live, demo of things. See, I would definitely try. It's not like I don't know and I cannot, but then doing live will always have, concerns. Still, I know it helps. So let's say wherever I can do, I'm doing. Okay. So what we just did. We just edited the date client. Have I? Okay, so syntax wise, I have to be a little careful. I will just add brackets here. I know else works with single line, but my preference is always like having a bracket, whether it is one line or more line. So I'll just save this file. And what next do we need to do? We definitely need to compile at least the client part, right? Yes or no? Because I just changed the client guy. So I'll just take these 3 lines, and if I will be able to run, I will run. So hopefully the files are new, at least the client side. And if I will run the date client localhost, and you see what happened now. So far so good. 64 students, you are there, and I hope you are listening to me and you are focusing also. So far so good. What we have just achieved on the same computer, we have the RPC service running. From another window, we are still on the same computer T2 only, and we are able to connect, and we are able to see how RPC works. But next, what is next? Can someone say what is next now? See, this is actually the way I try to develop something. I don't try to achieve the final thing right away, and I know it may not work. I have to go step by step, right? If I am successful at certain one step, then I can think of the next step, likewise, like fourth. I hope you guys also will learn this, or you might have your own way to come forward. Anything is fine, but you have to at least have some way, and that's called some kind of problem solving skills, or is part of your development skills. Okay, so are we together? Are we connected? And we know what we have done just now. We have demonstrated RPC on same computer, right? One computer where RPC service is running, and the same computer is consuming the service also. So what next? So we want to have a request from second PC, right? And for that, on the left hand side, which is whatever computer, 10.003, I think this time, I need to update these files, right? Basically, I need to update the client file, remember? So what will I do? I'll copy simply the client file, right? Because I don't want to, and if you see, you may say cat and what is it? Where am I? Yeah, date client.c. So this is one more way. Before anything I expect, let's say I'm about to call a copy command, right? And what I expect on the left hand side, the date client should have is part. So I will first make my screen ready. I'll be ready with certain commands. I'll confirm that it is not there. Once I do stuff, like once I take some action, then I'll come again and check it is there. So you please try to have such habit. Okay. So what will I do here? Date client.c. We want to copy over where 10.0.0.03 and location, home, what is it? OPC, RPC demo, right? Right. So now if I just say clear screen and cat again, what am I expecting? Is part is there? Yes or no? So please have such habits. Okay, you should always have some kind of algorithm for your own steps, and that algorithm will help you succeed smoothly instead of trying 5 times and then confirm, oh no, I tried something wrong. Okay, but you definitely should have some good practices like such. Fine. So my SCP is correctly done. I made sure I have the file which I need. So what next? I will clean up. Right. I might not have compiled here. Okay, so I don't have a compilation file. I don't need to compile server. I just need to compile client. So I'll just compile client. I may say compile client.sh, for example. What I need, I want to copy over those steps. If it was already there in my clipboard, hopefully the first word was taken out. But then what will I do? I'll say compile client.sh, right? And then if I just say ls, you see I have this date client, right? So what will I do next? Run it, yes or no? And what do I need to provide here? Yes, can someone answer? IP, yes. And if you may not remember the IP, that's possible. IP of the server is 10.0.0.2, correct? So 10.0.0.2. And this is intranet communication, okay? If you know how to go beyond, that's next thing. You will have more complexities. Do you think it will work? I mean, what do you expect? The server is running, right? When local client says, give me the date, it is actually working. Now, the remote client within the network, I mean, intranet, when it says, if I just say localhost, what will happen? I mean, what will happen? See, it's not registered. You understand the process of registration if you remember the diagram, right? localhost has not registered any date service. That's why it says not registered. And now I would just say some other computer, which is 10002. What happened the other day, if you remember the demo when I tried the exact same thing? Did it work or no? Okay, did it work or no? First not, yes, it didn't work first time. So hopefully it will not work today also. See, I pressed enter, okay? I pressed enter. It didn't work. It's not coming up. Maybe it takes time because of the network, possibly. But how long will you wait? That's the next thing, right? So of course, there's something more need to be done. This also, you can behind the scene, you can figure out some, logs file to follow, and there are actually logs which, if not enabled, they will not dump. If enabled, they will dump, saying, there were requests from other computers which were denied, etc. So those are logs you can explore, you can find out, and follow to know what is happening behind the scene right now. I would not go in depth of those logs because I don't have available their names, but at least few logs are right away available in where log messages folder. Okay. Anyway, you need sudo maybe to access that, but you get to find out the reason what is wrong. Say it said port mapper failure after a timeout period. It didn't work, so we don't know now why port mapper will fail. Little theory behind here is firewall, everything definitely is there, and the port mapper is actually few ports may not be open, etc. Right? And which exit port it is expecting, all those things also can be found out. As of now, I haven't explored those steps. Know that in the past with other websites or other services, I have even done this kind of exercise where I would literally find out the port and I would open that port. I tell you the real experience from our lab itself. When in lab 1, we were having a inside the computer center, we had a database server which you guys used in your free 10th third sem in DBMS, for example. There was a database, Oracle database server. Now when our system engineer, he installed let's say SQL developer on all the computers. And then the SQL developer, actually, you will just say, create a new connection. You will provide the IP, username, password, and you remember doing test, and that will say success, right? And it was not showing success at all. I mean, it was not showing. So it was, me who had to, figure out what is happening behind the scene, why it is not communicating. And I actually, with the help of, log messages, etc., I found out that one of the ports for the protocol, which actually ping also uses behind the scene, it was the protocol IMAP or something, which is especially for UDP messages. So see, when you press that test button on SQL developer connect dialog box, it behind the scene doesn't really use SSH. It just use some other protocol. I think not IMAP, yeah, IMAP only, not SMTP. IMAP only, I believe. Okay, I would forget the names as you know. Okay, but that particular protocol was denied from the server. So I literally had to allow, that is with IP tables, that's Linux firewall. I literally needed to open that particular port for that particular service, and then when you will press the test button, the communication will happen. The server will respond saying, okay, whatever IP, username, and password, and the Oracle instance name what you have provided, like XE, I'm here, I'm up, and it was then working. I mean, see, we have done troubleshooting, and this is the 3 years late prior when Sanjay would have taken over from Naines sir. But then in the past also I have followed exercises to follow logs and some other utility like netstate. Okay, you may also learn this netstate. There are so many utilities what you have to explore, via which you will be able to find out ports and services, etc. Anyways, that's a side note. So right now the problem is there is some port is blocked or something is not correct. We only have this information on the screen. Other information I'll have to figure out using certain other commands like netstate and all. I'm not going in depth to troubleshoot exactly this, but I know there is issue with firewall and all, and hence, if you remember, I actually, did this. What was that? System control, right? And then status and firewall D, right? And did I type it correctly? Firewall D, fire, WALLD, is that correct spelling? Okay, now it's correct. So we know that firewall is on the server side. So I'm going to stop it for a while. But once even I stop, then also, there are a few more things. Let's try date client again. Okay, and it's not yet going through. So the next thing was, from the virtual cloud network, few more things, the ingress rules kind of thing, which we needed to do. So let's do that now. So far, so good, right? We are understanding what is happening. I'm now going to the cloud. I'll have to go to networking, to virtual cloud networks. Now you may ask me, how did I do troubleshoot? So basically, with my all experiences, I figured and know that there was no direct page which told me do this and I have done. No, that's not the case. I would definitely have to do troubleshooting and get it done. And that what happened on Thursday, I think, before Friday when I demonstrated. Maybe Saturday I demonstrated. A day or two before only, I just did this troubleshooting, and I did not have any mentor to do this. Fine. Anyways, so this particular is what the public cloud. I'm sorry, public. What is it? What is it? Public virtual network, right? And within that, there is a default security list. Now, I don't have depth understanding why, because there are a lot of more things behind the scene about the network itself. So I'm not going to give you the theory behind it, but then I'm just opening that those ports basically for my computers within this test. And I knew there can be UDP used by RPC. That's when I needed a stateless. Okay, and I will just say this is fine for now. So on the public default security list, I added one of the ingress rule, which is allow incoming. Okay, all the traffic on all ports from 10.0.0.0 subnet, and somehow we still have few mysteries. I'm sorry, I would not be able to solve that. But do you see what is happening right now? RPC is happening right now, right? So it's not like I would have somebody give me all the steps and I followed. No, I had to do troubleshooting, and it takes definitely time, right? See, if I will stop this firewall, if I will start the firewall, what happens? Are we good so far? So far, so far so good. We have seen the demo, right? It is server and client. The two separate computers, and RPC is happening. Are you all with me on that, students? Right. So if I would start firewall, I know status if it is started, right? If I would run this, I'm expecting a failure. So first, so I believe you understood most of the things which I at least prepared for you for this RPC demo, right? And this time I try to do live also, so that you have some experience of not. See, RPC was not a primary thing. Of course, it's Mayank, actually, some other day somebody also said what is NAT, network address translation and all. Maybe in coming lecture, I will take up my own document which I prepared sometime in 2008. I will explore some topic related to network address translation, okay, and port mapping and all. At that time, we'll describe a little more. And I'm still, because this cloud is little black box, right? You understand, right? I'm just a user, right? I know, and few things is still black box for me, right? So I have to kind of guess few things and have to live with some guesses, right? So so Ria, okay, let me confirm, students, please don't take this as final step. I stopped firewall just for testing my thing and knowing what is causing the problem. If I really want this to be production ready, if this is the industry work, right? If I'm literally at work, either this job will be given to somebody from system engineers team, or it might be given to me itself. I would have to actually go in depth and find out exit port number or exit, port ranges, and all those things I'll have to find out, and I'll have to only, open certain things. So see, uh, 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 so about Mayank, your question, NAT network address translation. Once we take up another document, maybe in coming class, let's see if I will have to actually locate that document. But let's see if time permits. But I don't want to answer that right now. That whether it is because of the NAT or anything else, because lot many things are black box as well. And only thing we can do is try to connect few points and have some imaginary picture and understanding, but that will be still little bit based on assumptions or guesswork. So I don't want to answer that. You can ask such questions to your networking teacher if you may want to learn more, uh, right? But then to them also you have to provide the background, right? Then only they will be able to understand complete and may be able to give you more answer. About Ria's question, so Ria is asking, does that mean that every time we need to stop firewall for RPC, doesn't that risk security? The answer is we do not stop firewall any point in time. Okay, and yes, it is risky. Okay, but this is not production environment, or I mean, this is my own development environment. I'm kind of learning few more things towards my own requirement, which is nothing but RPC communication. Then from here onward, your manager will have to take a call to whom to assign this task. You will continue your development even on your local computer. You don't need two computers to continue development of RPC. Yes or no, Ria? Right? You can develop RPC for your and test RPC on the single machine also, right? But then when it has to go to production, of course, your manager will have to assign this task to some other team member or team member who is acting as a system engineer, for example, right? And developer will carry development part. The system engineer will actually go in depth and figure out what all things needs to be done, what all ports needs to be opened, etc., etc. And he needs to make sure that the security, I mean, the network is still secure, right? So I believe whatever I have shared with you, that's actually for the learning purpose. You are on a journey. It doesn't finish here. There are a lot many more things to do based on your role. I mean, based on your hat or you have put on. And uh, I was working as a full-time software engineer with a company which would do job. I mean, which would work for federal government USA. And as I was a full-time software engineer, and over the period of time senior also, I was involved from development to server administrations for to monitoring and on call. I mean, I was involved in so basically I was putting on multiple hats. Maybe that's based on my expertise as well as my interest, but I was putting on multiple hats. That's how I know uh, development also, and server side also. But I would still advise you all, based on my experience, you should choose your career in a certain field. Don't be like what was that saying, right? What was that, jack of all and master of none, and all. There is some saying of likewise. So I would still advise you to have more expertise on one field. You may still explore all the fields, but you try to have expertise in one of the field, possibly. Okay. uh, Anyways, any more questions, anybody? So I would remove that rule also, because I don't want my cloud at risk. Okay, so I would remove this rule also right now. Oh, not that one, the RPC one. Where did it go? Yeah, that only. Okay, so far so good, right? RPC, we actually I took up this as one of the lab. I mean, as 11th lab in a way. so that we can have experience on cloud also, because now is the time when you have to do a lot of stuff on cloud. So you learn few more things on cloud live, right? You can explore the same with Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud or any other, right? I'm not aware of any free clouds other than this giants. If some of you are aware of any cloud services which are completely free, like open source, I should not say open source, but from open source community or free services, you may still share with others. Anybody is aware of any cloud service which is very much like by open source community, which is completely free? Other than by giants like Oracle, Amazon, Google, uh, they all provide cloud, right, services, and they also have trials and free services, etc. But I'm not yet aware of any open source community based cloud service. I would still have to network with people and find that out. You guys also try to find that out and share if you know anything on those lines. Okay, so RPC is good enough so far, right? I'll just disconnect, right? Uh, the cloud. There is one more demo to be discussed, so bear with me. I'll come there. Okay. You can take a break for a few minutes. Okay, I need to drink water also. I've been talking from long time. Okay. Actually, can press Control D also. And I'll just do that. Take a break for 5 minutes, and then we'll have another demo of MPI, message passing interface.